All right, let's get right into it. Inside every single honeybee colony, there is one bee that holds the fate of the entire hive in her hands, the queen. When she disappears, the clock starts ticking, and a beekeeper has to pull off one of the most delicate and high-stakes procedures there is, introducing a brand new monarch.
So just picture it. You've got this thriving, buzzing colony, and suddenly its leader is gone. Poof. Without a queen laying eggs, that entire society is heading straight for a total collapse. And the challenge isn't just finding a new queen. It's convincing tens of thousands of worker bees to accept a total stranger as their new ruler.
I mean, the stakes could not be any higher. This is way more than just a change in leadership. It's literally a life or death moment for the colony. If they accept her, they have a future. If they reject her, it's chaos, and pretty soon, the end of the line for that hive. So, how do you make sure it's a peaceful transition?
Well, the secret is something called the indirect introduction. Think of it like a carefully managed diplomatic mission. Instead of just, dropping the new queen in and hoping for the best, you give the colony time to get used to her. It's all about slowly, gently introducing her unique scent, her pheromones, until the workers stop seeing an invader and start seeing their queen.
But here's the thing. Before that new queen even shows up, you've got a lot of work to do. You have to set the stage perfectly. A successful introduction is almost all about the prep work. You can't just cross your fingers. You have to create the absolute perfect conditions for them to welcome her.
And this checklist right here, these are the absolute non-negotiables. First, the hive has to be hopelessly queenless. The bees need to feel that desperation, that sense that they need a new leader. Second, you have to make sure there are no eggs or young larvae left. Why? Oh, because if they have the building blocks, they will absolutely try to raise their own emergency queen and they will kill yours. Which, of course, brings us to number 3. Destroy any of those emergency queen cells you see. You have to convince the colony that this new queen you're offering is their one and only shot.
Okay, so the hive is prepped and ready for its new monarch. Now the real diplomatic mission begins. And there are a few really clever ways to manage this slow reveal, all designed to give you the best possible shot at a peaceful welcome. So, the most common method is just brilliant in its simplicity. It's called the candy release. Your new queen arrives in this tiny cage, and one of the exits is plugged up with a hard sugar candy. You take that cage and you wedge it right in the heart of the hive, right between frames full of baby bees or brood. The workers inside are immediately drawn to her scent, and of course to that candy. Over the next day or two, they slowly chew through that plug. And all the while, they're getting used to her pheromones. So by the time they finally break through, they're not freeing an enemy. They're liberating their new queen. But, sometimes the bees aren't in a hurry. So here's a crucial tip. If you check back after 2 days and that candy plug is still there, you, the beekeeper, have to step in and let her out yourself. You can't just leave her trapped in there forever.
And this just goes to show you that the cage itself really, really matters. Time and space are absolutely critical. On the one hand, you want a short stay. 1 to 2 days is perfect. Any longer, and stressed out worker bees might actually start chewing on her legs through the cage, which can cause permanent damage. And on the other hand, a bigger cage is always better. It lets her move around, stay healthy, and that directly affects how well she's going to lay eggs for you down the road.
Now, if you want a really next-level technique, check this out. Some beekeepers use a bigger cage and place it right over a patch of brood that's just about to hatch. So what happens? Well, these baby bees emerge from their cells, and the very first thing they smell, the very first bee they meet, is the new queen. They accept her instantly, no questions asked. They form this little loyal court around her, feeding her, protecting her, which dramatically boosts her chances of being accepted by the rest of the hive. Pretty clever, right? All right, so the queen is in, but your job isn't quite done. Now it's time to play detective. You have to learn how to read the subtle signs from the colony to figure out if your diplomatic mission was actually a success. And the absolute golden rule here is patience. After she's been released, you have to wait. Don't go in there. Give it 4 full days. This quiet time is so important for her to get settled in and start her royal duties. After those 4 days are up, you can do a very quick, very gentle inspection. And what are you looking for? The one sign that screams success. Eggs. If you see those tiny rice-shaped eggs laid out neatly, 1 per cell, in a nice, consistent pattern, you've done it. The workers have accepted her, they're feeding her, and she's already started the work of securing the colony's future.
But sometimes diplomacy fails. Sometimes, even with all your careful prep, the colony decides to stage a coup, and you need to be ready to act in a split second.
I mean, this is the beekeeper's ultimate nightmare scenario, isn't it? You open the hive, all hopeful, only to find the workers in an absolute frenzy, violently attacking your new queen. What on earth do you do? This aggressive behavior has a name. It's called queen balling. The worker bees swarm the queen, forming this tight, vibrating ball around her. And they're not stinging her. No, what they're doing is way more brutal. They vibrate their flight muscles to generate so much heat that they literally cook her alive, all while suffocating her. It is a terrifyingly effective assassination attempt.
If you see this happening, you have to move, and move fast. First, use your smoker and puff some gentle smoke right on the ball to get the bees to break apart. Then, carefully get the queen out of there. Now, this next part sounds a little weird, but it works. Dab a tiny bit of honey on her abdomen. This helps mask her scent, and it encourages the other bees to lick her clean instead of attacking her. Then you gently place her back on the comb, close up the hive, and just hope that little intervention was enough to reset the whole situation.
And this brings us to maybe the most important piece of advice in this entire process. Even after a queen is accepted and laying eggs, the biggest threat can sometimes be the beekeeper. Constantly opening the hive and inspecting creates a ton of stress. And that stress can actually cause a colony that had already accepted a queen to turn on her and kill her. So sometimes the best thing you can do for your hive is just leave them in peace.
You know, when you step back, successfully introducing a queen is really a masterclass in social dynamics. It's this incredibly delicate dance of chemistry, of timing, and pure instinct. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? This whole process of earning trust and overcoming a group's instinct to reject an outsider, what can that teach us about how new leaders are accepted? Not just in a beehive, but in any group at all.